What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we are finishing our look at all the new cards from Age of Ascension, the second set of Keyforge, by having a look at the new Brobnar cards. Just because Brobnar's my least favourite house doesn't mean that there aren't some really nice cards in here. Cool. We will, of course, have many more videos about Age of Ascension and looking at themes and all of that and combos, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But this will conclude our initial look at the cards. There are a lot of new cards. So starting off, we've got 1-2 Punch. It is an action that gives you an Ember bonus, and when you play it, you stun an enemy creature. But if they were already stunned, you destroy it. Cool. I like that there's Mars on the card, because Mars really likes stunning in Wave 2. Bingle Bang Bang, 2 power, 0 armor creature. Before you fight, you deal 5 damage to the neighbor of the creature that Bingle Bang Bang fights. Okay, you're probably not destroying whoever you fight because, 2 power, but you may well destroy the neighbors. Bramo is a 4 power, 1 armor creature, and when you play, you deal 2 damage to each enemy flank creature. Yeah, Brobnar and their cheeky damage are back in full force. Calfine is a 5 power, 0 armor creature, and before you fight, you deal 2 damage to each neighbor of the creature that Calfine fights. So it's very much like Bingle Bang Bang, except Bingle Bang Bang, I love saying that, is a 2 power creature that does 5 to each neighbor, and Calfine is a 5 power creature that does 2 to each neighbor. There we go. Now, Drummernaut is a 6 power, 0 armor creature, but at this stage we need to remember that Drummernaut has been errataed. It does not actually read like it says on the card. The errata, what it actually reads is this: when you play Fight or Reap, return another friendly giant creature to your hand. Otherwise, if you didn't have a friendly giant on the board, you'd play it and pick it up and play it and pick it up and play it and pick it up. Well, until the rule of 6 kicked in. First Blood is an action card with an Ember bonus. It's got Alpha, so it has to be the first thing you do during the doing stuff part of your turn. And when you play it, you deal 2 damage for each friendly Brobnar creature, dividing the damage as you like. Important that it's an Alpha, otherwise you could play a bunch of Brobnar creatures and do way more. Foozle is a 5 power, 0 armor creature, and when you reap, if an enemy creature has been destroyed this turn, you gain another Ember. This lets you gain quite a bit of Ember quite quickly. Groggins is an 8 power, 0 armor creature, that's a lot, and when it's used to fight, it can only attack flank creatures. Which means, we've seen a bunch of cards already that affect where creatures are in the battle line, let you swap them, etc. Don't have a creature you like on a flank if your opponent is playing a Groggins. Groak is a 5 power, 0 armor creature, and when you fight, your opponent loses an Ember. Cool. Just remember that fight abilities only come in when you survive the fight. Now, Into the Fray is one of my very favourite cards from the set. I know I've said that for a few in this series of videos, but come on, I've said it about like 15 to 20 cards out of 203, so yeah, I feel pretty good about that. Into the Fray, when you play it, you designate a friendly Brobnar creature, and when they fight, they ready. The thing is, you got to survive the fight. And most creatures cannot fight 6 times, the rule of 6 stops you doing this indefinitely, without being destroyed. So what you do is you give this Skirmish. Now there is quite a hilarious combo you can do here with Killzord Mark 9001, because that gives you Skirmish, plus it actually gives you more power, but you also gain a chain when you fight. So if your opponent's got 6 creatures out, you can probably destroy all 6 creatures, but then you finish the turn with 6 chains, which is maybe not what you were aiming for. If you've got Skirmish, you essentially just keep going here until either the rule of 6 kicks in, if you do anything 6 times you have to stop, or you've destroyed all of your opponent's creatures, you ready one last time, and you reap. Lollop the Titanic is the most powerful new creature in Wave 2. It's an 11 power, 0 armor creature, but it deals no damage when attacked. When it is attacking, you deal damage, but not when you are attacked. Pound is an action card with an Ember bonus, you deal 2 damage to a creature with 1 damage of splash. Cool. Kolf the Quiet is a 6 power, 0 armor creature with elusive, which is weird because Brobnar creatures generally do not have elusive. Flamethrower is an artifact. It's got an action. You deal 1 damage to a creature with 1 damage of splash. Again, they're Brobnar. They do cheeky damage. Flamewake Shaman, 4 power, 0 armor. When you play it, you deal 2 damage to a creature. I think I've made my point. Garganti Scrapper, 3 power, 0 armor. It's got alpha, so it's got to be the first thing you do. And when you play it, if you've got 3 ember or more, deal 3 damage to an enemy creature. Has to have alpha, otherwise you could reap a couple times and then guarantee the damage. Grump Buggy, it's an artifact. It gives you an ember bonus. And it's kind of wordy. Your opponent's keys cost +1 ember for each friendly creature with power 5 or higher. And your keys cost +1 ember for each enemy creature with power 5 or higher. Basically, if your opponent's got creatures with 5 power or higher, both of you have your key forging cost increased by how many creatures they have. Yeah, it's a bit of a wordy one. Little Rapskull, 2 power, 0 armor. It's got elusive. But all creatures, yours and your opponent's, must fight if they can. Some can't. But there's no reaping, no using an action. If you can fight, you must. This strikes me as a real could go wrong kind of card. Be careful with this one. Ogo Pogo is a 6 power, 0 armor creature. And after you attack and destroy a creature, you may deal 2 damage to another creature. Cool. The Flex is an action card. You choose a ready friendly Brobnar creature. You exhaust it and gain ember equal to half its power rounding down. Use this with Lollop the Titanic and this gives you 5 ember. Yeah, that's like a quintuple reap. That's cool. Bellowing Patrazate, 7 power, 0 armor. Brobnar have been the powerful fighting house up to now. While it's ready, each creature takes 1 damage after it enters play. So that's good on your opponent's turn because you'll ready it at the end of your turn. Maybe you exhaust it at the end of your turn. Maybe you play it at the end of your turn. Maybe don't use it early on because otherwise this could go really wrong. Cyber Giant Rig. Now here's a fun one. It's an upgrade. It gives you an ember bonus. And the creature you attach it to gains. At the end of your turn, this creature loses a +1 power counter. That sounds bad. But when you play it, you fully heal the creature and give it a +1 power counter for each damage you healed. So essentially, you make it into a big, bad, beastly creature. And then it gets a bit worse every turn. The thing to remember here is you lose a +1 power counter. You don't lose +1 power. So once you've lost all your power counters, you stay just at your base power. Forge Master Og, 4 power, 0 armor creature. After a player forges a key, they lose all of their remaining ember. And this is another one of those which could go really, really well or really, really badly. What you really want to do is try and reap with 6 ember while laughing at your opponent nicely. Let's all be friends here. When they lose like 7 ember because they had 13. Stops players really rushing to a large amount of ember, but this one can backfire. Grumpus Tamer, 4 power, 0 armor creature. And when you reap, you search your deck and discard pile for a War Grumpus, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. Basically means your War Grumpus are just going to keep coming round and round again. And I don't like going out of order, but we need to go out of order to have a look at War Grumpus. 3 power, 0 armor creature. When you fight or reap, you ready and fight with a neighbouring giant. A lot of Brobnar creatures are giants. Yeah, this is kind of fun. Might makes right. It is an action card that gives you an ember bonus, and when you play it, you may sacrifice any number of creatures with a total power of 25 or more. If you do, you forge a key at no cost. No cost, ladies and gentlemen. That's ridiculous, and I love it. Might not always work, just hope you got Lollop the Titanic in the same deck. Every house has a shard artifact in Wave 2, and they all do something as many times as you've got friendly artifacts. Now weirdly, Brobnar gives a friendly creature a +1 power counter for each friendly shard. I would expect this from Untamed, I would not expect it from Brobnar. I would expect Brobnar to do 1 damage. The things you learn. And finally, Signal Fire. It is an artifact with an Ember bonus, and it's got an Omni ability. You can use it regardless of which houses you're active. You sacrifice it, and for the remainder of the turn, friendly Brobnar creatures may fight as though they belong to the active house. Yeah, it doesn't matter whose turn it is, your Brobnar creatures are coming to fight. I mean, look, Brobnar are the fighting house. That's what they do. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is all the new Brobnar cards, and assuming I've uploaded these in the order I meant to, that is now all the new cards from Age of Ascension. Over the next few weeks, I'll be bringing you a whole bunch of news and stuff about Keyforge, and I'll be showing you just a whole bunch of different kinds of videos about cards. It's going to be fun. So, make sure you're subscribed and all that. Also, tell me what you think about these Brobnar cards in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video and, like I said, subscribe to this channel. I'd be grateful. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.